Everybody good? All right, good afternoon. I'm Executive Assistant Chief Larry Satterwhite. Standing with me is Director Gerald Brown with DPS, Department of Public Safety, Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, of Harris County Sheriff's Office, Major Suarez, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Major Diaz, Chief Diaz, Harris County Sheriff's Office, I think Lieutenant Haplin here, Harris County Sheriff's Office, Assistant Chief Megan Howard over North Patrol, and Commander Spears over our Homicide Division. We're out here at 2600 Calumet Street on an officer-involved shooting. Thankfully, our officers, all of our officers are actually troopers and Harris County investigators are involved. They're okay. Unfortunately, the suspect that they were pursuing is deceased on scene. So information is still preliminary, but this is what we know so far. Harris County, along with DPS, was investigating a capital murder that occurred in Harris County last week of a female, and it's involved in domestic violence. So they received intelligence today that the primary suspect was in this area over here at 2600 Calumet, and they were doing surveillance today in this area looking for the suspect. The suspect did actually arrive on scene in that white Jeep that we see right over there behind the crime scene tape, which is the suspect vehicle that we had intel that he would be driving. The suspect did exit that vehicle, and he walked into the park that you can see behind us and sat on the slide back there where the kids' park is. The investigators formulated a plan together to try to safely take this individual in custody, and once they had what they thought was the right time, no one else was around, that they were going to move up and try to safely take him into custody. Unfortunately, the suspect took off running as they approached, produced a firearm, and started shooting at the troopers and Harris County deputies that were trying to get him into custody. They returned fire, and it proceeded up the hill across the street and behind that house where the suspect collapsed. The firearm is still right next to him over there where he collapsed. Again, thankfully, our personnel are okay. All the calls were made. We all arrived on the scene to investigate this. I will tell you that Harris County District Attorney's Office is on the scene to do an independent investigation. Harris County and the Sheriff's Department will do a parallel investigation with us. Because it was in the city of Houston, we have lead on the investigation, but again, they'll do the parallel. Our Special Investigations Unit will do the primary. The suspect is approximately 25 years of age. He's an African-American male. Like I said, he's deceased on scene. And for more information on the original incident that began all this, I will defer to Sheriff Gonzalez with the Harris County Sheriff's Office. With that, do you have any questions?
So the suspect fired first?
That is what we're being told. I have not seen any video to that effect. That is what we're being told.
Was anybody from HPD on scene before the shooting happened?
I don't have that information. They were doing surveillance on scene right here, so the county and the Harris and DPS had lead on it. I'm not sure we had officers close by. We did arrive very quickly once it was reported.
So suspect was running and firing behind him at the...
That's the information that we received at this point. Obviously, this is very preliminary. We'll do a deeper investigation. We'll be talking to everybody in the neighborhood that might have seen something. We'll be looking at all video available, and then you will be apprised of that when we know more.
What kind of gun was the suspect using?
Semi-automatic pistols, all I have at this time.
We know how many gunshot wounds he sustained or how many
We do not.
were fired?
We do not know how many gunshots, wounds. This was a moving gun battle, very dangerous, as the suspect was firing back at the officers, and they were trying to get him to stop, get him in custody. This is a reminder, again, this is a park. This is this is a neighborhood area. Lots of families around here, very dangerous situation. So we're very thankful that, to our knowledge, no one else was injured. Again, unfortunate that he is deceased, and we will do everything we can to make sure everything's done appropriately.
Was the suspect meeting with anyone, any indication he was here for a meeting, or what's the connection?
So he has, all that we have right now that I've been told is that he has a connection to someone that lives in this area. That's all I have, but we will know more. Again, we're still learning, finding out facts. We've gone many places looking for this individual. The intel that he would show up here today, that he was in this area, actually proved out. Just unfortunate with the decision that he made. I cannot say that because that is the individual we were looking for. on scene, but we have not had the medical examiner's office arrive, and they will identify the person that's down right now. This individual did match the description. So, and again, in the vehicle that we were looking for, and that's why they made the approach to try to take him into custody. And then he made his decision before we could get any further with this investigation.
What's the duration of time from him start running to him being deceased?
I don't have that information.
What time did this all start?
So he arrived a little after 1 p.m. today. They were out here much earlier. Again, all we had was intel that he might be in this area, so they arrived much earlier. And then he just arrived a little after 1 p.m. And it wasn't much longer after that that they tried to get him into custody.
Do we know from which agency the person who fired and killed him? Do we know who
I do not know. I know that we have five officers involved, 2 DPS troopers, 3 Harris County deputies that were involved in the shooting. All 5 did fire, but I don't know anything beyond that.
I'm sorry, you said 3 troopers, 2 deputies.
Pardon?
3 troopers, 2 deputies.
2 troopers, 3 deputies. 2 troopers, 3 deputies. Okay. Yeah, so we also, Sheriff Gonzalez can do this in Spanish, and of course, if y'all have any questions beyond that, for myself, Houston, HPD, Harris County, or DPS with Director Brown, we'll take those. Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to thank Lieutenant Haberlin and his team and our partners with DPS. Since September 9th, on that morning, our homicide investigators responded to Mossy Oaks, where Shantavia Reddick, a 3rd grade teacher from Spring ISD, showed up to assist a friend that was trying to leave an abusive relationship from the alleged suspect, Dimitri Humphrey. That morning, Humphrey allegedly shot Mrs. Reddick as well as her dog. And since then, since September 9th, we've been actively pursuing him. I spoke very closely to Lieutenant Haberlin that leads our violent crime apprehension team. And so since then, it's been kind of an ongoing investigation. As Chief stated, it led him here to this location. As has already been discussed, they devised a plan to try to bring him safely into custody. There was no one else in the park at the time, and the house that he was approaching was a vacant house where he's now pronounced deceased. And so the individual that we believe to be Dimitri Humphrey is who they were looking for, and they recognize him as being that alleged suspect. So, but obviously the confirmation will have to come from the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences. Esta tarde, como aproximadamente a la 1 p.m., nuestro equipo que había estado en búsqueda del individuo Dimitri Humphrey, acusado de haber matado a la señorita Shantavia el 9 de septiembre, cuando fue ella a ayudar a su amiga que estaba tratando de huir de una situación de violencia doméstica. Ella vino perdiendo su vida cuando el sospechoso la mató a ella y a su mascota. Desde entonces hemos estado en búsqueda del señor Humphrey, y esta tarde lo pudieron localizar aquí. No había nadie más en este parque en ese entonces, y cuando se acercaron los oficiales para arrestarlo, el sujeto huyó de la escena, produjo una pistola y comenzó a dispararle a los oficiales que iban en seguimiento, y lo pudieron ellos regresar los balazos y lo hirieron fatalmente. Cayó atrás de una casa que está aquí en la escena y fue confirmado muerto. Ninguno de nuestros oficiales fue lastimado. Un total de 3 de nuestros agentes de la oficina de alguacil de Harris County fueron los que dispararon, y 2 de los oficiales estatales también. Entonces, and just in closing, again, a tremendous job by all the law enforcement. You know, again, they gave him every opportunity to turn himself in. We've been actively searching for him now since the 9th. And our condolences go out to Shantavia's family. Obviously, the terrible loss that they suffered when this individual, again, allegedly shot her and her dog. And obviously, this individual has a family as well. So we know that ultimately everybody has a family, and our condolences go out to the family as well for all the events that have transpired. Nobody wins in this type of situation. But I am relieved that no law enforcement was hurt out here, that they did an exceptional job like they always do, and that no one else in the community would be hurt by this person that was armed still, already killed somebody, and other people could have been in harm's way. So.
What do you say to other people who want to go help their friends?
Yeah, well, we still encourage to develop a safety plan. We work very closely, for example, with the Houston Area Women's Center. They will help you create a safety plan, an exit plan. You know, these situations could be very dynamic. We always tell people that it's probably the most dangerous time when somebody's trying to leave an abusive relationship, and this friend just stepped in to help another friend, and like so many have probably done, and unfortunately it was just a turn of events that became very tragic. But we still encourage people to make a plan. Obviously, use your due diligence. You know, these situations could turn on a dime, as that one did that morning. And so we encourage, if you can, to first seek help and information out there. I keep referencing the Houston Area Women's Center. They're a terrific partner that our region is very lucky to have. And they'll help you devise an exit strategy and a plan to make sure you have everything as coordinated as possible. And so, you know, we encourage you still try to get out of an abusive relationship if you can, and just use caution.
Septiembre 9, el día del crimen, él mató a la muchacha y al perro. Él salió con el jeep, de la
El
novia.
jeep que está aquí. No sé de quién le pertenecía el jeep, pero él huyó, parece ser que en el mismo jeep que está localizado aquí.
Was this the first chance, good chance, that your officers had a chance to apprehend the suspect?
We've been kind of following different leads, you know, different locations without any success yet. We felt we were getting closer, and again, they're relentless, and you know, I made sure that I conveyed to them that it was an important priority, you know, and they've been on it, and kudos to them, and again, DPS as well, and so they are gonna obviously devise the best strategy as to when and where, and we leave it up to them as the experts to do that, and it turned out to be the end of the road right here.
So I just want to clarify. You received a tip that he was going to be here.
No, we have been following up on information, different leads that have been developed. I'm sure tips came in throughout this time, but for today it was just intelligence and follow-up work that led him to this location. I don't want to say specifically,
Well,
you know,
I guess
how
my
it
question
led him
is,
here.
Did somehow your agencies arrange for him to
No,
be here?
no, it wasn't arranged. They just located him here at this location.
How the girlfriend o la novia, ¿cómo ha estado en este caso?
Yo no he comunicado con ella. I haven't spoken to the initial domestic violence survivor, and so I don't know her, you know, her status. Obviously, you know, we're there to support her and her family any way we can. You know, she's going through obviously a lot, so we imagine it's just a very difficult situation. Not only most likely the trauma of having been in that type of abusive situation with this type of individual, but also witnessing or losing a friend and the dog. You know, that was very traumatic, I'm sure. You want to say anything?
Thank you.
Thank you
very much.
Oh, I'm so
No,
sorry.
No, you're fine.
11.